Yes, Psalm 91, we'll read verse 1 all the way to 4. And the Bible says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day." That's from the book of Psalm 91. We've read from verse 1 all the way to 5. Yes, maybe let's read verse 6. "Nor the pestilence that stalks the darkness, nor the plague that destroys midday." Yes, you can read the whole psalm, Psalm 91 up to verse 16. A very, very interesting psalm, especially when it comes to the subject that we are covering tonight. Being secure, being sure that you are safe in the arms of the Lord who created us and who has great plans for us. Now, I know whenever we are looking for a place to stay, one of the things that we look out for is the security of that area. Yeah, how secure is that area? Now, when you take your children to school, if you're a parent, if you're a guardian, you want to ensure that your children are secure, isn't it? Yes, and also for us, in our life, every other day, probably you hear things happening in the city, somewhere where you live, and it brings some sort of fear, but you want that assurance of security, that you are secure when you go out, when you come in. And so feeling secure is a high priority in this unsafe, volatile world. And a private investigation agency promises to work diligently to restore the sense of security and safety that you and your family desire. That's from a certain investigation agency in the US. And now, this particular psalm that we've just read, Psalm 91, found a secret place where he felt safe. We're talking about this psalmist who found safety in the Lord, that secret place, and we can rest secure in that same place. He described with these phrases that we'll be reading in just a little while, and verse 1 telling us that whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty, and under the shadow of the Almighty indeed provides protection for what we would call that direct heat from the sun. And so we know when we are with the Lord, He will protect us. And if the heat is severe and the shade reduces what we actually feel, and we are under God's shadow, we do not face the full heat of our difficulties because the Lord is sheltering us. And of course, verse 2 tells us, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust." A fortress and refuge. God is the strongest protector you can ever think of. Leave alone those soldiers, leave alone those security officers. The Lord is above all. He's the protector we could ever have, and we can run to Him for help whatever time, whatever instance we are in, and nothing can penetrate Him to get to us unless it's part of His loving plan for our ultimate good. And under His wings, verse 4, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. God is soft and tender like a caring mother bird. When trouble rages, He draws us close to Him. We don't need to fear that He will cast us out. We are His, and He is very much delighted to have us by His side. And of course, verse 9 tells us that we say of the Lord, He is our refuge, and the Most High your dwelling, where our Father will be our home. And we will have that assurance of our abiding place now and forever, because the Lord has promised never to leave His children. He will be with us every step of the way. And so when you talk about security that is real, that is genuine, without any adulteration, it is found in our Lord. Just read that psalm again, Psalm 91, the whole of it, and you'll be reminded of that, because God promises to save us, and He will be near us every step of the way.